off. Darkus. Staring in the barrel with this Guardian gonna peek through. And a nice attempt to stall, but he's gonna be spammed out past the smoke. Playing a little bit too forward, a bit greedy there.
Yeah, greedy. I guess actually a great way to really describe how they're playing here for EG especially too. I do feel like ADG a bit more on the quiet side, but then disruptive, you know, once the rounds have reached half point. It's getting difficult. Like, I mean, the holds for ADG haven't necessarily been the best as we've seen. It's been struggling quite a bit. So in all reality, right, these crossholds, they need to work sacred peeking when they shouldn't be, and just looking for something. But all in all, like, there's 3 players left on site who are struggling to try to play together at this point. A wraparound that might be able to help, but that's the beauty of it. I guess the timing really is the name of the game here for ADG.
Yeah, it is. And I think just, again, making it a bit uncomfortable here for Evil Geniuses. The setups have been interesting. I feel like we've seen quite a variety, from Darkus being on the B site, Darkus being on A, Darkus focusing a little bit more on mid, while maybe his trips are elsewhere. The problem with, I think, why Darkus felt the need to play so forward on that A side was because he didn't have any support from the rest of the team, right? You just have those trips. Otherwise, was looking for a bit of that early info. Can't fully play like completely anchored on site because there's a concern of, okay, what if they get that timing, they walk past the trip, they walk up on you.
Yeah.
And it was just an awkward, I think, defensive round that we just saw from Evil Geniuses, where the map control wasn't quite what they wanted or needed for the kind of setup that they were looking at. But ever since swapping sides, Gompers, ADG, they look so much more comfortable dealing, I think, with these setups. And we've seen a lot of that success from Ion, either breaking up, you know, that deadlock utility there, or honestly, the team just finding an opportunity to either pick Darkest apart or find another hole there in mid.
Darkest has posed the biggest threat, I will say. Very hard for ADG. It's super difficult because it does seem like they're really just trying to get a read on where Darkest might be, how they can execute off of that. Not a lot of util though, luckily enough in this round, so I do feel like ADG, they're put in a better position than they were last time. Yeah, and already off the rip, just taking out majority of these players up in heaven. At least looking for it too, because now they've backed off. Wait, there is no read. Actually, moves just got scot-free away from the boom bot. I don't know what's going on with these sensors here. We've seen this so many times happen, but it's okay. At least some information. They know where everybody is. They're able to take out Jakey here. No, I mean, yeah, the trade-off definitely coming through.
Able to find the one. That's all up to B-Dog and moves. And Floors, again, going for that re-wrap over at ramps.
One enemy remaining.
And not even needed to close the round out there. 9-9, ADG managed to tie things up after an 8-4 half in favor for Evil Geniuses. EG, they are cycling into quite a few ultimates though, so this next round is honestly so important for them if they don't want ADG to find the advantage, especially when you're looking at how much ADG have invested in the last couple of rounds as well. I think they did a great job with their ultimate economy cycling to ensure that they could play for those win conditions.
Get out of my way.
A big takes up in mid again. Kind of like a repetition we've seen, but I'm curious as to how EG are going to respond to this. Doesn't seem like they're going to respond at all. Just let him take the space here. And moves. Now backing themselves up. ADG, the flash, but Mikey almost did not get away scratch-free. That's super unfortunate for EG to be playing in a position like that one, but it really is up to at least 3 players now. But I do think the player advantage is big. The only unfortunate part is Fluorescent has been absolutely destroying with the angles, with the timing, and B-Dog just completely proved me wrong. And now finally, like a turnaround for EG. A huge clutch potential, but it's still Ash. It's way too close. We're losing way too many players way too early on.
Yeah, it's still not comfortable right now on defense for EG when it comes down to these round wins that we've seen from them.
Planted.
And it relied on 2 ultimates being expended into that round here from Evil Geniuses as well, that Nightfall, as well as the Annihilation and the knives on top of that. Very expensive. Granted, a good investment because they're able to pick it up, but ADG now the ones to call their last time out of regulation. You do have a Viper's Pit here for Evil Geniuses. Moobs might look to just pop that out in mid, as it's an avenue that ADG have been quite successful with after showing those initial looks either in B main or over at A main. The repush into mid has, for the most part, I think almost yielded them around like every single time, and a pick to be able to open up those opportunities for them.
Yeah, mid has been looking pretty attractive for ADG. I do like the addition of the op that we're seeing here from B-Dog again. I don't know if it's too crazy for me because ADG have been like really exploding onto site when they feel like they're ready for it. Kind of hoping we can play a little more outward to get that first pick, because that's kind of what we're missing here. ADG are always finding that first engagement.
Yeah, the ability to just open up the rounds, waiting for Evil Geniuses to overextend a little bit if needed, and it's just completely denied. ADG were expecting this to happen though, right? That's why you have them leaning over towards that B side of the map. I think some presence was shown in the form of a flash, if my ears did not deceive me. No, it did not actually. My ears did deceive me. I'm like looking over on the left-hand side now, and I'm like, no, Mikey has both of his flashes, girl. What are you talking about? Regardless, though, there's something had to have happened to pull all of that attention over towards the B side, right? And just allow B-Dog to play solo posted up with that operator on A.
Oh gosh. They're re-rotating with Spike. The lack of information, I do think, is kind of overwhelming for ADG. They did dog onto A, and I'm sure they got that information from B-Dog, kind of destroying that. So not wanting to reach over too much to that side, instead feeling like maybe B's the play. But I like this because the op has actually forced them to go to where Darkest is. And Darkest is in a position where they can actually play with their own set of utilities. So the lockdown happens. Jakey's kind of playing with this to make sure Fluorescent goes down. And the information down towards backside is given away. But EG, they're getting pretty good shots coming through here on that entry. And they've completely destroyed them on that choke point. So the spike is down. It leaves Sacred in a really tough spot. And, you know, EG, it does feel like now we're seeing a bit more momentum kind of pick up.
We definitely are, but I still have my hesitations, right?
Yeah.
It's the fact that they win this round, honestly, off the Viper's Pit in a way. That's not to discredit, you know, the shots being fired, the other utility that was being used, but ADG had to really change their game plan with that pit being in mid. They didn't even bother with that area of the map. I think they tried to apply a very similar pressure by rotating over at A, getting that insert into ramps, but it still wasn't quite enough. And the amount of time it took gave Evil Geniuses that read and understanding for Darkest to make the call to have the rotations pulled back. But look how aggressive he's getting. Now this round, Darkest is walking out B main while this mid presence is being shown once again by ADG.
They've been mostly playing for Heaven at this point, which I think is smarter. Just too much to really focus on with two duelists trying to push up mid. Of course, I mean, two forms of dogs, I guess you can say, looking for information here.
It's just weird now because you also have these A players who run a little bit of an island on ramps. Jakey and B-Dog playing together, but they're about to get crunched from mid and the lurk in A, but it's a bit of a bait just to pull that attention over.
Yeah, Recoil isn't playing with Moobs anymore. So Moobs is alone in Heaven. Best thing they can do is really just be
30 seconds
patient, see
left.
if they could take a couple picks off, because the moment they drop down, I mean, they could recollect themselves, but they have so much space right now, especially with like the util still settled down on the B site. Doesn't matter. They're actually gonna push this rotation over towards the other side of site, so they don't even care about B. They're just making a lot of noise. But this is bad. They've waited so long that they're actually giving EG a reason to really peak these fights and make sure that they don't get this plant down. And all they need to do is peek heaven. They've taken out Vic. They need to try to make their way over towards the back of site. Dark is hitting their utility. And Mikey's pushing for something with the util. And it's unfortunate Sacred waiting to try to get past moves, but moves is proactively stopping them from peaking the angle. And it allows that match point to come through from EG.
And not even planted for main either. That snake bite that Moves had thrown down won that round into the retake, keeping Sacred completely separate from that post-plant play. Really nicely done here. EG coming back into this second half where it looked like ADG were fully in command in that driver's seat. 5-1 once they were on the attacking side. Evil Geniuses. Really good adjustments that you shouted out over in B Heaven, just trying to play a little bit more in a comfortable area where they could trade off of each other.
This is so interesting. Oh. It's like, it's so different because we have not pushed up mid yet. And this is the way we decide to do it.
It's one of those things where I think you kind of go, do they necessarily expect it? Who's just trying to catch somebody off guard, trying to break that wall, but no one's going to take a visit.
Oh,
What?
and the ult is gone. Whoa. Darkest? Got some pretty good damage there, actually. One more spray through the wall, and that might be the life of Sacred. Yup, and it's over and done with. So very, very good shots. Taking out the Viper, so the A site, definitely not the site to hit. And huge off Ion to try to move themselves over towards the backside to clear things. And I mean, the showstopper was supposed to be that extra insurance, but it didn't do anything in the amount of time that it should have. Unfortunately, Fake is left alone, and the spike isn't even there next to them. They have to fight for that space.
Yeah, they definitely do. It's going to be so hard to do so, though. Even though the paranoia is available, there's just too many angles for Vic to look to clear. The paranoia will be utilized just to get that spike in hand. There is a smoke for him to plant in if he so desires.
10 seconds
B-Dog's
left.
just going to walk up behind him.
Oh no, and they don't know. Vic is in such a tough spot because the moment they try for that plant, yep, it's completely over. Guns thrown, and actually guns blazing. EG, that was good. It was harsh in the beginning. Obviously, adaptations came through in just enough time to really settle things down there. But that first map going in favor of EG.
Yeah, a comfortable win here for Evil Geniuses Academy thanks to the lead that they found in that first half. I think a lot of credit
think the biggest thing for ADG is finding that timing on when to get aggressive. You can't do it early on because EG are more than aware and more than ready, and they have the utility to deny that. You have to do it when they're starting to group up, when they're starting to shift. Even if you don't get a pick, at least you get that info so you can start stacking towards the other side and be ready. We can't just be sitting back or going too early and get punished like we did on Split.
The one weakness that we've seen EGA flaunt on this map the most is their inability to maintain a level of confidence that doesn't peak into aggression and ego. They have often gone into mid too often when they have those legs up and lost some crucial leads because of it. I think after that previous map, we know that's not going to be the case for something like this. ADG, like Em said, the timing window is going to be short, but it needs to be found in order to get the edge in.
I mean, for Evil Geniuses, a win here on Ascent would put them into playoffs. But of course, this is ADG's map pick. It's time to see if it's going to be enough to take them into a map 3. Let's get to it with your casters. Back over to Ash and Gompers.
All right, this could be the potential last map, Ash, for Evil Geniuses, or we could see ADG really pull through. This is their map pick, as a reminder for you guys, for Azure Dragon Gaming. So theoretically, this should be a pretty comfortable game for ADG.
It should be, in theory. I think I think what I'm interested in is the fact that this map pick for ADG, Evil Geniuses, they pick into the attacking side, knowing how good the defense has been from ADG, but it also does rely on, you know, some of that aggression that you're going to expect to come through from Ion, from Floor, trying to get some of those deep lines, look for that contention. You know, the retakes were working out really nicely for ADG as well. So that kind of tells me that Evil Geniuses Academy, they must have been cooking something in the background to feel like they are more confident on this attacking side. Maybe it is an opportunity to try and build some momentum for themselves, but I'm really thinking more towards them trying to anti-strat some of these defensive sided plays here from ADG, where they look to get a little bit more aggressive, and it seems like ADG probably feel confident in taking those fights.
Yeah, I'd say they do too, especially with, I mean, mechanic-wise, I do feel like they do tend to win out a lot of their 1v1 fights. I mean, coming through here, obviously not, guys. I don't know what's going on, but B-Dog's struggling. EG, they are looking to try to redeem themselves. Recoil does have a shock dart to really use, but the timing here might actually work out in favor, right? You do see moves slowly working themselves around to the B site. The wraparound and spawn is going to happen.
Yeah, the problem is, will Recoil be able to group up safely? And with the pace that ADG are taking it at, the slow crawl and the walk on over, it absolutely will. You got to plant for stairs here as well, so very open. Allows moves to play that more aggressive angle initially here. Looking into CT.
Ooh, that was detrimental. I'm not gonna lie. If moves had gotten that pick, it would have made things a lot smoother, especially with Mikey being so low. Just a body shot was really all they needed. Do you have a slow just waiting down lane? No, so is it going to be too much of an issue? Yup, posing a very big threat. Mikey just completely just denies everything, which is insane. If Mikey had gone down originally with that pick, this could have gone a very different way.
Yeah, it really could have. And now off the back of a pistol round, 4 points into a Hunter's Fury? That is huge early ult economy here for ADG. Man, what a way to bring that round back here for Azure Dragon Gaming. Now, Evil Geniuses, again, they opt to stay outside of V main, looking to play that deathball kind of approach. ADG, they're going to have Outlaw here for Floor. Can't imagine that anyone's going to want to peek over at Tiles. We're gonna be honest.
Oh, okay, no, that's bad. B-Dog does have a bit of time to kind of take that one away. But running off a loss for ADG, this is feeling pretty good, I will say. You know, kind of looking like the first 2 rounds are working in favor. The momentum's starting to pick up a bit. You know, it's really all you can go off of to make sure that your mentality is kind of working out further on in the rounds.
Like, he's 2 away from the Hunter's Fury at this point with these picks that came through. Like, you really couldn't ask for more here for the side of ADG for what they wanted into that anti-eco.
Right here.
The Genius Academy, though, now with a buy in hand, things shift a little bit. Looking at more of that mid-focused default play. Constantly the same lineup to put that pressure here on B main thanks to Moobs and his lurk. While the rest of the team looks to Group A.
Here.
Oh, the smoke is so dangerous because now that it's gone and the information was given away, they actually don't even know that Jakey's there. They're not going to check the top side, waiting on that moment. And knowing that Vic was there previously, because you did hear the TP. So it's just going to see if they can catch something else out of that. Unfortunately not, but do know that if they handle tree, they have the information as to who is where. They've caught out the rotation. They're coming through from Ion as well.
Really nicely done here. EG, again, just waiting for those opportunities. It's basically just like Emily kind of called, right? Having that understanding that evil geniuses want to wait on those timings where ADG is trying to regroup together when they're looking for those rotation shifts. And catching them out perfectly in that kind of regard. Here, a flawless round for the anti-eco of evil geniuses against that flawless bonus that had come in previously from ADG. Now, though, that operator is online here for Fluorescent. You've got the Odin for Mikey as well. This is where things change a little bit, Gompers. How this approach has to look.
Yeah. Yeah, it's concerning. I mean, they kind of controlled the map there, to be honest. Didn't feel like ADG stood a chance with the positioning.
Right here.
Start just to reveal if anyone had crossed over to the side or was taking an off angle here. A bit more aggressive into B main. And evil geniuses, they're kind of waiting for that aggression that you expect from this composition from ADG, right? The double duelist looking to poke and prod, take those deeper lines. But ADG, they've done a good job in adjusting in response to understanding the expectation from evil geniuses, right? Like, there are times where Floor will go for some of those more aggressive deep line peaks, but in this round, playing a little bit safer, anticipating that evil geniuses are waiting for her to overpeak to try and take control of one of those lanes.
30 seconds. Waiting for that 30-second mark, potentially waiting for the rotation from B-Dog, and this is where it gets dangerous because there are 3 players on the A site. Yes, they've smoked off, but they know all they need to do is hold this, right? In all reality, I mean, ADG, if they hold this, they will be able to try to stop that plant from coming down, but everyone has been down. There was an unfortunate player advantage there for ADG, but they did lose out on that one. Now it leaves only Mikey left alive to try to play with the Odin, and the whiffs unfortunately come through, so it's going to be that 3K that B-Dog allows EG to take that 2-2.
A nice timing there on the attack from Evil Geniuses Academy. ADG,
Bro, my mic
again,
wasn't on this whole time.
They're
Jesus.
kind of being information starved, you know, in the mid rounds right now. In the early
I
to
had
mid
no
rounds,
idea.
you get the same conditioned 0 point over in B main that they've been doing since Pistol. Moobs lurking on that side of the map. You get the dark cover over at bottom arches for mid there,
Jesus.
and just default contact plays across the rest of the map, making it really uncomfortable for ADG. That's kind of what they talked about previously on the desk too.
Oh, I did like that. Okay, Ion. I mean, listen, you do what you got to do. You try your best to kind of recover the round with the economy that you're given.
Fake.
But
I don't even know.
No.
Damn, Spike.
No.
They get a kill. They get a gun.
Oh, this crossover is so solid.
That's crazy. Jumping double peek with
I
a
really
Bucky.
need Vic to not. Like, dude, that timing.
Here.
Oh, this is important. See if Vic sees this. I'm pretty sure Moves is kind of understanding of the situation. Like, one person that they see, they're going to have to expect the other to really come full swing. I think that's where the worry resides.
Vic
Though Vic
almost
is just
got
not letting them win
isolated.
the fight.
A huge thrifty round. Like the
Yeah.
first time we're really seeing that aggression out from ADG, even though Evil Geniuses had been playing a little bit slower, they still weren't 100% prepared for that.
Jesus.
Granted, that was a massive paranoia coming out from Vic. Like the only reason why that play ends up working out for Ion and dashing forward and floor is because of the paranoia. Just completely denying that lane, and Darkus could not do enough in that moment to react as quickly as would have been needed.
Out of my way.
Oh gosh,
Here we have a
Fluorescent
B
in
hit.
such a bad spot, and they still do have that dash, which smoke
And
kind
4
of
gets
allows them to
out.
back themselves away. But Sacred is
Solo
playing within their own
ult.
smoke, and Fluorescent goes
The
down.
B-Dog might win the round.
B-Dog working over
Overheat, son.
towards the
Overheat,
extremities
son.
now. So, I mean, obviously posing a very,
Overheat.
very big threat. They've taken out the threat of Fluorescent and Sacred holding down the B site. Now just working towards the extremities with the ultimate that allows
Oh,
Recoil to
wow.
play
And he
alongside
caught the
B-Dog
recall.
for the refrag. And nobody knows. Oh my gosh, I thought
Wow,
JK
he
was
could've
actually going
took
to
that
just continue.
TP.
I think it would have worked out if they really just
So
kept
was
it.
in Cubby.
It would have been too high risk though, leaving it Recoil on site by himself. I respect why he didn't go for it. I think it's also just to buy a little bit of time so ADG don't feel as confident going back and pushing back into the site
Gotta
here.
run out
on
of
B.
time.
Hopefully not. I think the Odin is a little bit scary here for EG to peek this, but Jakey's ready to make sure that they can maybe get a spray
Oh,
down.
almost
but
got the
peek is perfect.
transfer.
The timing is great here for EG.
Yeah, really nice communication there for Evil Geniuses Academy into the post plant to ensure that those trades happen as needed. This is crazy though. Honestly, I gotta give a lot of respect to B-Dog for saving this round here for Evil Geniuses Academy because things were falling apart a little bit. Sacred being in that smoke, being able to get those picks. You got a couple people falling as they were making the entry onto site, and B-Dog being able to get the trades that were necessary, really bring it back into EG's favor. Now, ADG, eco round, last time we saw them having to save, they did get aggro. Not going to be the same kind of look as last time, but it will be a stack here at B-Main.
Oh gosh, so much information. Yeah, the stack worked out last time, so
I
I'm
think
just assuming that it might work out again. Information is being given away by Jakey, so not Jakey, apologies, Vic.
in order for ADG to feel comfortable, I feel like
Look at the drone here.
at this point
Drawing the
they have
attention
to
of
at
the
least
entire
get
rotation, right?
at
You
least
have,
get
obviously, the
6
B-Main trip and the camera to keep an eye
after
on.
winning pistol.
Feels like Evil
and maybe
Geniuses are just
losing
trying
the
to toy with
Seiko.
the minds of ADG a little bit while Moobs makes his presence known
It's
here
kind of hard to
towards
be
the B
in a
side.
deficit, although they are an attack side comp with a double
Gosh,
duelist.
There's so much mid presence coming through from Darkest, so
They're just doing a really good job of not, I wouldn't say selling this
30
fake
seconds left.
necessarily. It will be a full rotation here over towards the B side.
Got the
It
gun.
does actually end up being a total fake with B-Dog going in over on that A side of the map, but
3v4.
there was such a good understanding from Evil Geniuses that ADG would still just
They
assume
have
that
3
they're
ults.
just trying to play distraction.
They get a pick, they can ult with the Cypher.
yeah, I do agree. I think the
I think
push
you
onto
hold your
site definitely
ults.
allowed them to have a bit more time.
He's
kind of
walled
wait
off.
For the
They
retake
mark it,
to come
the
through. Now that
omen.
the angle has been closed off by Darkest,
So they know.
which is in fact making it harder for ADG because the pressure's been set on by Jakey.
And 4
to make it almost
ulted.
seem like there is potential for someone to be coming around the back, so it gives that feeling to Fluorescent that they have to be a little bit more hyper aware of their surroundings. But with 2 kunais left, it becomes almost difficult to get themselves onto the site. Finally refreshing it, but Moves is ready.
Yeah, shutting that down here, Evil Geniuses Academy. Hefty enough investment into that round. I think that something else the Death shouted out was just how disciplined Evil Geniuses Academy have been. And it's not just discipline, they're showing a lot of respect for ADG as well. Like, it was a bit of a scuffed buy that ADG had going into that round. Fluorescent had to pop knives. They managed to pick up a couple rifles there as well. but really trying to get every round advantage as possible, not looking to hold on to that
You
KO
want to
ultimate,
play? Let's play.
just so they could ensure that they secure the bag. That drone will... Okay, now has spotted out 4. She will have to back off. That means it's free real estate for moves to take.
Yeah, off that noise. Oh, I love this. The flash to make Fluorescence stay over towards tree.
Not just that, look how good the conditioning's been with that B main presence. They're playing so far back on B, not even contesting main, because they believe that moves is likely there, holding with the operator.
I do like to catch out this rotation too. I'm assuming someone might stay mid to make sure nothing goes wrong. Potentially not. Again, they're split up in this moment, but they don't know that there's still a lot of util heavily placed towards B. So this is where the issue starts, right? Once they try to get themselves on, they're going to get completely tagged out with the Odin now waiting and watching Sacred, not knowing what to do, as there has been a big movement over towards the B side. So for EG right now, you know, they've done the hardest part.
4v3 ADG at a disadvantage heading into this retake. There is the convergent path, though, for Ion to rip into this round. Fluorescent, though, has an operator in hand, and considering the money situation on the side of ADG,
Save that up.
they're going to opt for the save, not look to risk it, ensure that they can carry these weapons over, just prioritize that going into the next one. But really nicely done there by Evil Geniuses. Taking a bit of a different look into that round, thanks to the conditioning that they had done previously. Great calls there coming out from Darkest.
Darkest themselves have said that they always believe they can do it. There's never a doubt in their mind. So I like the ego. I like the confidence. You can obviously see it in EG. You know, the confidence behind the IGLing as well.
I got things to do.
But looking good so far. I mean, it's pretty enjoyable. I think the KO in general is making it really hard for ADG to respond as well.
I do think that that's also part of why we're not seeing as much aggression out from ADG, because with Darkest, that KO knife that he's constantly throwing over at B main, like whether it's Ion or Floor who wants to get aggro and use the tailwind or the refract to try and get out, Darkest is going to be there. That 0 point is putting so much pressure on those pieces of utility for the duelists, where they can't get as aggro unless they're going for one of those set plays that we saw on that eco round in round 5, where they're actually able to take it away. So ADG now, it's back to the drawing board for them. It might be a 3-5 scoreline, Gompers, but really it feels more like a 5-1 because 2 of those rounds were the pistol and